All right, it's Thursday, January 11th. This is kind of a midday SPY update. I'll do a recap of yesterday and then what's unfolded here this morning and what's unfolding as the week comes to an end. First of all, yesterday, which I didn't get to in a recap, you can see here essentially it was like a little green inside day the day before, and we held above the midpoint of that day and went higher towards our target up here. And we had that in as a target after we're getting kind of a 2-up week towards that high. So yesterday, if we look at yesterday's price action, it was pretty straightforward in the sense that first bar was green, then we paused for 2 bars essentially above the midpoint of the prior day, and then had the breakout here on bar number 4. So you were kind of anticipating price taking out that intraday high and with higher targets above, and eventually it kind of coiled all inside that first bar and then broke out to the upside. And then today we had the big economic number or the CPI number, so there was a lot of volatility pre-market. You have a pre-market range here between the blue lines, and what happened was on the very first bar you essentially moved up a little bit, didn't get to the pre-market highs, but took out yesterday's high. And then yesterday's high was in line with, you were just short of that weekly high from a week ago. So right out of the gate, you took out your target and then immediately had a reversal bar. So there was actually a little bit of a sell signal here to anticipate kind of getting to those pre-market lows. And once you got to those pre-market lows, which happened, you were also getting to the halfway point of the prior day, which meant you were going to get to yesterday's low. So it got down there on the very first 3 bars of the day for a nice short trade if you wanted to take it. Then there was a pause, and usually when you have such a big push down, you're going to test that low one more time. We tested it one more time, happened to come right to the open of the year here, so that's still green. And it's not surprising that after getting broadening action, which is just higher highs and lower lows on a shorter time frame, price decides to reverse after its second push down. So there was a morning trade in here if you wanted to take it, and again, not surprising, now it heads higher. I'm not going to trade for the rest of the day because I don't really know how this bar is going to end up. We kind of took out our weekly target up here. We still have bigger picture targets above. If the trend stays up, we'll see how tomorrow, what happens tomorrow. This could just be a logical pause area before continuing to our monthly, and yearly targets above. But now we have a 3 bar, so, we could be definitely getting kind of the higher highs in here, lower lows, and then now working our way back up to the top of the range. So I wouldn't be surprised if anything happens this afternoon, either back to the upside or if we just kind of hold in here, maybe take out liquidity down here. It's possible, we end up, since we kind of failed up here, that even though we're rallying a little bit now at midday, that maybe we end up pretty red tomorrow and we get kind of a 3-2 down, and then eventually have to get a 2 up kind of play into next week. I don't know how this is going to end here. It's possible, like I said, we take out this liquidity and try to reverse lower, but I wouldn't necessarily expect those lows to be taken out, and I'm not looking for those highs to be taken out. So that's why the morning trade was all that was in play today. And there were a lot of stocks actually dropped that you could have, sold or bought puts on as well. And yesterday was the up day that consolidated in the morning a little bit before eventually breaking out as anticipated to the upside. So we will see how today ends, and then that bar here will kind of lead us with a 3 bar into a little confusion towards the end of the week. But we'll see how the weekly bar ends, and then that should really, give a sign if we're staying green and holding above the midpoint and holding above the yearly open and working towards those other highs that were discussed in the year-end video, kind of that are still up here. We still expect the yearly highs to be taken out from last year. So we will see, how things end up. But for now, it's just green, and this was a little broadening action today after trying to move up yesterday.